Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. It's that time of the year. It's the holiday season. This is my third annual holiday gifts for the woodworker. So let's get right into it. What I want to tell you about these gifts is I have stuff here starting under $10, stocking stuffers, Secret Santa, all the way up to we got something here for $160 this year. So we got quite a selection of gifts to talk about. I'm going to kind of go through them from lowest price to highest price. All of these things are definitely woodworking items. Some of them more tools than woodworking tools specifically, but you'll get what I'm talking about when I get to them. I will tell you that I'm going to pick up and show you each tool. I'm not in a store pointing at things in a box. I own every single piece of equipment we're going to talk about here, and I use them, and that's why I'm recommending them. So I can give you good faith that I use these tools and I like them. And that's why I'm recommending them. So let's get right into them. The lowest price thing on my kit is actually two different types of sanding devices. And I know sanding's not, it's just not the sexiest thing to do with woodworking, but it's just friggin' necessary. And I have two kits here. And as you can see, I do have some stuff I just bought, but don't get fooled. I have this one here I've been using for years, and I like this one so much, I bought another one, and it came with a kit with a few other different shapes, basically. But I'm going to start with this one here from a company called Milescraft. This is an interesting little block. It fits well in your hand. It's a hook and loop wrapped around it, and what you can see here is it has a removable bottom, and it comes with four different contoured bottoms. It has a pointed bottom, a concave, a convex, and a flat bottom. I have the flat on here right now, and you just put the bottom you want on here and then wrap your 5-inch hook and loop paper. Everybody has a random orbit sander, so you don't have to buy different discs. Here's a package of discs for a random orbit sander that I have. I don't have to go buy different type paper to use this thing. I use the ones that I use with my random orbit sander. And you just wrap it around this thing and the hook and loop holds it, and away you go. You're sanding. If you had one of these contours in, you'd get into molding. The beauty of this is it has all the contours to do all kinds of molding. They're rubber, so they're not going to round over edges of your molding. Great little kit. This thing cost $8.99. It's on Amazon. I'll put a link below. Another sanding block. This one, you can see it has the little finger holders here. This, where that one is more detailed, this one covers a larger. You could do the bottom of a serving tray if you were doing a serving tray. Your random orbit sander doesn't get into all the corners. This will get into the corners. I like this so much, I purchased this one to put down in my basement, and I noticed on Amazon now they have a 4-pack of them. So they have 2 of these that are just a different way to hold the disc. They're all hook and loop. You got 2, wax on, wax off. I guess you do with that. I'm going to leave one up here and take one downstairs. I'm going to leave one of these up here and take one of these downstairs. And then there's this little detail one that I'll use in both places. It kind of matches this detail. This is by a company called PEI. That's what it said on Amazon. I don't know. $16.99. So, for all 4. So that's not a bad deal for 4. I mean, these are all soft again, soft rubber, and the bases are soft. So they're not going to round your corners over as easily. Trust me, you can round a corner over still if you really get aggressive, but these are a little bit safer than taking a piece of wood, wrapping the sandpaper around it. I really like this idea, and guys, you know what? Looking at this table, a really good gift for a woodworker would be to take this kit, these 4, I already had this one, so he doesn't count, this kit, which is this with the 4 bottoms, that covers detail and flat sanding, and go to the Home Depot or at Amazon. I'll put the links to Amazon as well. This Diablo set of 50 5-inch discs at 80, 120, 180, 220, and 400 grit. Put all of this in a box, wrap it up, That's a little over $40. You got a really nice sanding kit for somebody. That just hit me in the head. I had these separate. That's a great gift combined. A little bit more than a stocking stuffer maybe, but you know what? A great gift nonetheless. So let's move on. What's next? Well, the only item that I have included in every one of my gifts for the woodworkers is the Harbor Freight clamps. And I'm going to include them again this year. I love these things. These average in price between $2.99 and $9.99. And as you know, if you watched my videos, including the one I put out last week, Harbor Freight does sales from time to time where you can get up to 30% off of these things. All woodworkers need clamps. Every woodworker would appreciate a clamp as a gift. Harbor Freight clamps are just, to me, they're very good. The F clamp, this is an F clamp. It has a rubber handle that twists and you move that in and out. These are amazing. I'm starting to grow accustomed to these little squeeze clamps here. Again, kind of in the same price point. You know, these are 6-inch, this is a 12-inch. All of the different lengths are under 10 bucks, guys. They're a great gift. Grab a handful of them, put them in a box, give them to your friend who's a woodworker. He'll love you. One more thing in this list before I move on. This, my friends, is called the Pick-A-Dry pencil. It is a mechanical pencil, and I hope you can see this here. It has a very thick lead, so it's not a true woodworking piece of equipment or pencil, because woodworkers, as we know, like to use knives to mark things. When we make a line, you know, a lot of times we'll take a knife, but this makes a very good, very easy to see knife. What I think is great about this, let's say you're working on a cabinet and you've already got it assembled and you realize you need to put a couple of pieces inside that cabinet. This will go into a hole and make a mark for you. It's nice and thin up here, so that is a benefit. Now this is a $14 mechanical pencil, a little spendy. It does have a pencil sharpener on this end, which is nice. If you have a friend, and we know who these guys are, I think I kind of sometimes could fall into this category. If you have a friend who'd be like, you know, $14 for a mechanical pencil, there ain't no way in hell I'm spending $14 on a mechanical pencil. He might accept it as a gift and really like it, so that might be the right guy to get something like that for. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Alright guys, I've got the table reset. I have a few more items all in the $20 and under range here. Actually, one of them just goes over 20, but that's okay. We're fibbing here. The first on the list is a tool I've used for a couple of years now, and I really like it. It is the Shark 10-2204. They call it a dowel dovetail detail pull saw. Now, guys, this is not a dovetail saw. This is a detail slash flush cut saw, but it's excellent. It gets into tiny little places. I really love using it. I mean, you can put this into areas. You glue something up and you put a board onto a cabinet you've already worked on and you got to cut something off the end. You can get this in there and cut it off. You can use it as a flush cut saw, even though it does have a little bit of set. A true flush cut saw has no set, but in a pinch you put a piece of blue tape down, go ahead and do it, sand it off, you'll be fine. This is $18.50. I gotta be honest, I think it's well worth $18.50. I use this quite a bit. I reach up for this. It stays, it lives right here. We'll put them back home right now. As you can see, it is always at my ready. I keep it up there above my head. Next on the list, we're gonna get into a few things that the Home Depot has by Milwaukee. When you go to the Home Depot during the holidays, you know, really starting in late October now, they set these cardboard displays up and they have all kinds of things for sale there for the holiday season. Milwaukee is always prominent near the register in my Home Depots. Yours might be a little different, but that's how mine operates. And a few things they have that I have literally taken advantage of now for a couple of years is the fastback knives. This is the basic fastback knife. It is model 4822 1500. I think this is under $10 by itself, but during the holiday season they have kits where you get this knife and another knife with it for, it used to be 15 bucks, now it's 20. Inflation, who knew? These things went up $5 this year, but this knife and one of these two others are still a good kit at $20. Let me show you what you get. Now, I don't know which Home Depots carry which kit. I have two within about 5 miles of my house. One had one kit, the other had the other. I'm not really sure why, but the one further from me had this knife here, which again is a regular knife, just like all of the other fastbacks, but it also has this little pull out here where you can store 3 blades. That's really kind of handy. This sells, I believe, for $16.97 by itself, so getting this and this as a kit is a pretty good deal. The Home Depot further from me had this kit this year. All of my Home Depots had this kit last year, so I've had this for over a year, and I can tell you, one, I got to put some blades in it, and two, I keep this in my truck. It's really good to have some spare blades in the tool if it's in the truck and you're away from home. You don't actually have spare blades necessarily. So it's nice to have this one in the truck where you have a spare blade in here. That's one of the kits. The other kit would be, again, the basic 1500 with the 4822 1505. The 1505 is kind of the desirable fastback. What it has, again, is the knife. I'm horrible at that, by the way. You know, there are some guys on YouTube, they just go and it opens right up. That's not me. But what this has with it, and this is really cool, this has a bit holder, and it permanently locks out there. Well, not permanently, you can close it, but it locks rigidly, and it has a number 2 Phillips bit in here. Take it out and flip it over, it has a 1/4 inch slotted bit. This is 8 inches long from tip to tip. This handle is big enough for your whole hand to go on it, so you actually have a working nice screwdriver, and that number 2 Phillips bit is what most Phillips screws are around the house. So you got a Phillips head screwdriver available to you pretty easily on your knife. And with this kit, both of those kits are $19.97 this year. Like I said, they went up $5. Not really thrilled with that. Let's say you're not a fan of the razor blade knife. Not everybody wants to carry a razor knife with them all the time. Milwaukee has several other knives. They have a hook blade, a carpet knife. You can get that in the fastback. They have a very similar to the basic knife that has just a 3-inch blade that comes out. It's just a steel blade. So if you want a knife blade instead of the razor blade, you can get that. That is about $20. And they have this one. This one's $25, but I just got it on sale for $19.99. This has what looks to be a little under 4-inch blade that is serrated. I don't know if you can see that. It's serrated, and it has a sharpened blade here. So this is a real stainless knife, and it has the bit holder. So if you wanted an everyday carry knife and have a screwdriver in your pocket, this is probably the tool for you. The only thing about this that I would say is this is a little bit cumbersome to carry. You know, I don't like, all of these have clips on them where you can put them in your pocket and clip it to your pocket where it's out of the way. I'm not a fan of that. I don't like clipping them. I like them to be loose in my pocket. This can be a little chunky loose in your pocket. So all of the fastbacks can get a little chunky. If you don't like that, the Home Depot, I believe Walmart, a lot of people sell this here. This is my everyday carry knife. This is a Gerber paraframe. You can see it's got the hollowed out skeleton type handle. This is all metal. There's no plastic on this. And they buffed it. It feels really nice in my hand. It is very thin. Look how much thinner it is than that. It's much thinner, much smaller, much lighter. It literally just, I mean, it just slides in my pocket. I don't even know it's there. I can go in there with my keys and my wallet, you know, my money clip. I don't even know it's there. That's what I love about it. I need it, I reach in, and it's here. Again, Walmart, Home Depot, they're available a lot of places. It's 20 or under. You can find them less than 20. Highly recommend that. You know, these are all $20 and under knives. These are not high dollar knives. If you're buying a gift for a knife person, somebody that carries a $100 knife, this may not be something for them. But These are good tools. All of the Milwaukee stuff are tools. You can put these in your toolbox and use them as tools. And a couple of them could work as everyday carry type of knives. The last thing we have on, we have two more things on the table here. We have, and this is a repeat customer, I love this kit. I use these all the time. I love this kit so much, I bought a second set and keep it down in the basement. So I have two of the 7-inch Milwaukee rafter squares and two of the 4.5-inch Milwaukee trim squares. Again, last year, 15 bucks. This year, $19.97. Honestly, guys, still a good deal. I love these. I use these all the time. They live right here in my shop. I use them every day. They're my go-to squares in the shop. I just put them back where they live. I use them all the time. I can read them. The red and white combination works well for my eyesight. I think they're an excellent little rafter square to use at the bench. They're not the most accurate woodworking square you can have, but they are more than accurate to make a 45 and a 90-degree line to cut a board off. That's what I reach for all the time. Any woodworker would appreciate those as a gift. The last thing I have in this cycle, which will be winding up the stocking stuffers / Secret Santa priced items, and this one has been pretty popular here on the internet lately. These are 1, 2, 3 blocks. I got these at taytools.com. The pair of them are $21. They also sell a hardware kit you can get for another $10, which will allow you to screw these together, make a square. You know, what are these for? First and foremost, these are for your woodworking friends if they're more power tool woodworkers, because they'll use these to set their power tools up, set the height of a blade, set the distance of a cut from the fence. Why are they called 1, 2, 3? Well, this is 1 inch, this is 2 inches, and this is 3 inches, and that's milled to a couple of thousandths of an inch accuracy. They're very accurate. Machinists have used these for years. Now woodworkers are starting to use them. You want to clamp something up and you want it to be square? Look at that corner you got there. That is as square as any other thing you're going to use as a clamping device. The biggest use for these, and these will end up in my basement, is to set up the table saw, the band saw, all of your tools, the joiner, anything you need to set a fence or a blade height on. These things are amazing for that. taytools.com for that one. I'm going to put all the links below for all of these. All right, let me set up the last set of tools I have here. All right, guys, we're in the home stretch here. We have 1, 2, 3-ish, 4, 5 items left. We are getting into some a little bit more expensive gifts, you know, a significant other, brother, sister, something like that maybe. I don't know. Everybody has their own price points for who they give what to. We're probably, at least in my family, we're cruising our way out of the Secret Santa and stocking stuffer price tags here. The first one I want to talk about is a tool I never thought I'd even buy, but I bought it and I love it, and it is a mallet. It is a Wood is Good 20-ounce mallet. I got mine at Woodcraft. Woodcraft is selling them for $54.99. It's a lot of money for a mallet, but this is a very rugged, very good mallet. This will take a beating, and it will give a beating. It is a very well-made tool. This urethane wrapped head here, it's indestructible. It's not coming off. The wooden handle is well turned, well finished. I like this mallet a lot. I never thought I'd buy it, but I saw it sitting on a lot of YouTubers' benches, and I went to Google and YouTube to search, and there's not a lot of YouTube videos on it, which tells me that the YouTubers bought them. They weren't given them. So that means it's a good tool. If you see it on a lot of YouTube videos and you don't see a lot of videos about it where they got it and said, oh, I got this for free. I did not get this for free. I went to Woodcraft and paid $54.99 for it, and I like it. I think it would be a great gift for anybody that does woodworking. Next on the list, I always include a woodpecker's tool. Woodpeckers, for those that don't know, is a pretty high-end company that makes a lot of mostly woodworking measuring tools. This obviously is a measuring ruler. This is the, and I pronounce this wrong all the time, Polini pocket rule. It's at 8 inches. It has this sliding lock on it, which is very good. It allows you to put that up, bring your mark out to, say, 3 inches. There we go. Lock it down, and then you can take and make a mark right at 3 inches and move it down the board if you want. It's very accurate. Woodpecker's equipment is always very accurate, and I use this from time to time for more intricate layout. He is another tool that lives right here on my wall. I reach back and use him from time to time. I really enjoy using it. I love all of the woodworking tools from Woodpecker. They are spendy. I give myself one a year from that company as kind of a gift to myself. You know, I see some guys on YouTube that have a whole wall of this stuff, and I don't know how the hell they afford it, but you know, more power to them if they can do it. I'm not capable of doing it. That little 8-inch rule is $68, okay? So that should give you an idea. Now, giving Christmas gifts, $68 is sometimes an okay expense, and you just give it. And trust me, your woodworking friend, brother, sister, whoever will be very happy that you did. Moving on. The next 3 items, actually 5 items, 3 categories, are more specialty. They're for hand tool woodworkers, and I would say this has to be kind of that wink wink. You know who you're giving it to, and you've kind of talked to them a little bit. You may not know exactly what you're going to get them, but you got to kind of do a little feeling here to make sure you get the right thing. So, you know, me and my brother back in the day, he unfortunately is no longer with us, but we would just look each other straight in the eye and say, we ain't doing a gift this year, that's stupid, or what do you want? I want this, I want that, they're the same price, cool, and we'd go get them. So we would do that wink wink thing. I would suggest doing that for some of these next tools because hand tool woodworking is very kind of specific, but I want to talk about some nicer hand tools that people would love to get as a gift. The first 3 are chisels, and they're all high-end chisels, and I own all 3 of these. And if you watched my chisel video, I'll put a link to it here. I own over 100 chisels. I like to collect them. I buy them at flea markets. I buy them at tag sales. You know, I pay $1 for them here and there. And pay $1 for these. This is the least expensive of the 3. It is beautiful. As far as ergonomics, it doesn't get better than this for me. Now, ergonomics is specific to each person, but this handle fits my hand perfect. It's great steel. The Narex company has been making chisels for a very long time. This comes out of the package basically ready to use. You might want to take it to a strop, give it a secondary bevel if that's how you sharpen. I know this is a gift video, you may not know what I'm talking about there, but your woodworking friend will. And trust me, this chisel is $41.39. It is available in several places. I got mine at taytools.com. Taytools.com is going to have a few of the things if you look down below at all of the links I have. I believe you can get these at Amazon and Lee Valley as well. Not sure about the price differences, but you know, I should tell you that, you know, these prices are at, I looked these all up today, so they could change it as early as tomorrow. They should be close. The next chisel I'm going to talk about, I don't know how else to say this. This truly is a work of art. This is the Veritas PMV 111 bench chisel. This is a 3/8 inch chisel. This one was 1/2 inch. I buy them all in different sizes. I've made myself a kit from different manufacturers because I couldn't decide on one. I'm a little goofy that way. I wouldn't recommend doing that. But, you know, one chisel at these price points, these bench chisels, what's so amazing about them, you know, they're called bevel edge chisels, but all of these, the bevel comes right to the edge. I don't know if that shows up here. It's very hard to see that, but literally, if I put it down like that, that bevel right there, it's almost like a true angle. You could almost sharpen that. And that allows you to get into tight areas. It takes a lot more honing and grinding to do that with these chisels. All 3 of these basically have that very low ground angle. This chisel You know, the Veritas company loves to kind of go out there a little bit, and their designs are a little more modern. This to me is a beautiful, almost a piece of art. You know, it's $88, which is a lot of money for a chisel, but to me, it's worth it. This PMV11 steel holds an edge for an extremely long time. I don't know if you can see that there, but I've put a secondary bevel on it. That's all I've done to this thing, and it literally stays sharp a very long time. And that is what the difference between a good chisel and a crappy chisel are. The steel is better, they hold their edge longer. Ergonomics are always going to be much better too, but you know, all three of these, you know, they're very well made. The fit and finish on these are great. Love that chisel. I also love this chisel. This is this is lie-neilsen's bench chisel. This has A2 tool steel in it, and this also came perfectly flat on the back and perfectly sharpened. I took this out of the box and started using it. Again, the fit and finish is meticulous. Lie-Nielsen is a company that has basically copied a lot of the old Stanley patents that have long run out, and anybody can make them now. And they just improve on them. The Stanley 750 chisel was made for many years, and it was a beautiful old chisel. It's collectible now. Some of the Stanley old 50, 60, 70-year-old chisels sell for $50. This one's $95. It's a lot of money for a chisel, but I want to tell you, if you're 20 years old now and you receive this as a gift, when you're my age, you'll still have this chisel if you take care of it, sharpen it properly. Unless you go into the trade full time and you use it every day, anybody who's a hobbyist will keep a tool like this for a lifetime. So any of these, 95, 88, 43, all of these prices for a lifetime tool, they're not that bad, guys. They're really not that far out of the extreme, considering how well these are all made. I would recommend any of these three chisels in a heartbeat. I own all three. They are used by me all the time. They would be amazing gifts. A woodworker, if he opened up a box and saw this, he would lose his mind. He would love this. Next on the list is a hand plane. And this is a brand new plane. This isn't an old Stanley. You can see I got sawdust in there. I was using it yesterday. I should have cleaned it for the video, but I didn't. This is, well, I don't know who makes it actually. Taylor Toolworks, Tay-Tools, taytools.com again. They import these, put their name on it. You can see right there, Tay-Tools number 6, and are selling these things. And they're selling them at a very good price. Considering this is a copy of a Stanley Bailey, which is interesting. It's not a copy of a Bedrock, it's more a copy of a Bailey. And there are some differences. When I do a video on this plane, I'll explain them. For a gift here, you don't need to know that because you're probably buying this for somebody else that would know it. But all you really need to know is this is very well made. It was machined very well. I've done some checks with my feeler gauges. This sole is very flat. The blade is 1/8 of an inch thick. It's a very nice plane. It feels good in my hand. It's made out of ductile iron, which is important because that's more strong, more resilient than the old cast iron planes were made. You drop them on the floor accidentally, they could crack. This won't do that. It's $113, and that's discounted from $139, which is what I paid for this 5 months ago whenever I bought it. Mr. Taylor, I'm assuming there's a Mr. Taylor. Not too thrilled with losing that money, but you know, it is what it is. When I bought it, that's the price, so I'm a consumer and that's what I paid. I don't know why the prices are dropping, to be perfectly honest with you. They used to have a 5.5. They don't anymore. They have 4, 5, 6, and 7. All of them function the same. They're all made with the same parts. They're just different sizes. So get the size your woodworking friend, relative needs. Again, you got to do a little wink wink here and kind of find out what they need. If they already have a number 6, you don't want to get them another number 6. I'm really happy with that though. It's working very well. The last plane on the list is this little guy, and you would think this little guy would not be the most expensive thing we're talking about, but he is. This again is made by the Lie-Nielsen company, and it's a block plane. And the interesting thing about it is, this is a copy of, again, they copy old Stanley patterns. This is a copy of the Stanley 102 block plane. The Stanley 102 block plane was a very basic plane. It didn't have this knob back here. It had no adjustments. Like I said, Lie-Nielsen improves on them. They put an 1/8 of an inch blade in here. They have it ground at 12 degrees in a bevel up configuration. The body is 15 plus ounces of bronze. It's got great weight to it. It's a work of art. I don't know how else to put it. Any woodworker, power tool, hand tool, if you handed them a box and they opened it up and put this in their hand, there would be an amazing smile on their face. Now, this is for the significant other type of gift. This is $160. I know, for this little tool, $160. But again, it is a lifetime tool. This will last your entire life, and it works amazingly. It does everything a block plane can do, and it does it as good, if not better, than any other block plane I've owned. And I got 8 or 9 of them sitting on the shelf over there. This is the one I reach for all the time now. I hope that made some sense. I hope you got some good ideas there. If you're looking for a gift for a woodworker, there's plenty of them here I went over. If you're just a woodworker looking for ideas, I hope you got a few there. If it did help you out, please go ahead and hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. I could use that help. We'll get a few more subscribers to this channel. We're really trying to grow it this year. Other than that, have a great holiday. I look forward to seeing you in the new year. Have a wonderful new year, and we'll see you all then.